Hi, this is Stuart Talley here to do another update on the Pinnacle metal-on-metal hip trials. Today I wanted to talk about the testimony that was provided by a plaintiff's witness named Tony Nargol. Dr. Nargol is a surgeon in northern England who was hired by DePuy at various points in time to do studies for them, to teach other surgeons how to put hips in. And he was one of the first surgeons in the world to start using metal-on-metal hips and was involved in a study that DePuy was doing in metal-on-metal resurfacing, which is a specific kind of way to install a hip. And specifically it involved a hip called the DePuy ASR. The story that Mr. Nargol told was very interesting. What he said was that he started using the DePuy ASR, which is another metal-on-metal hip, and began experiencing lots of problems with the patients into whom he was putting it in. The big problem he was seeing was metal wear debris and people having a reaction to the metal wear debris. He had multiple conversations with DePuy engineers and executives, and every time he spoke with them, they told him that he was the only one having problems with the ASR, which made him feel very concerned that he was doing something wrong, that all of these patients that were having problems were his fault. Later on, as time goes on, when you get into 2009, 2010, Dr. Nargol starts telling DePuy that there's also problems with the Pinnacle metal-on-metal hips. He testified that when he brought up the Pinnacle, he said it sort of touched a nerve at DePuy, that they took it very seriously and they came out with studies and research and a whole team of people to meet with him to try to convince him that there was nothing wrong with the Pinnacle. He said that during these meetings, he was led to believe that he was the only one that was reporting problems with this device. He also testified that some of the engineers or some of the people at DePuy were trying to make suggestions that maybe the patients were the cause of the problems. In particular, they wanted, or at least they speculated, that maybe there was something genetic-wise with respect to people in northern England where they were having more of a reaction to cobalt than a normal person. The other thing they speculated about was whether there was cobalt in the water that the patients were drinking, and maybe this contributed to the reaction. Again, DePuy was adamant that Dr. Nargol was the only one reporting these problems. During the direct examination of Dr. Nargol, he was presented with numerous documents and emails that demonstrated he was not the only one having problems with the Pinnacle. Some of these emails showed that many doctors in the United States and in Italy were having problems with the hip. In particular, some of the design surgeons, the surgeons who actually were part of the group that developed the Pinnacle metal-on-metal hips and the ASR hips, had stopped using the hip because they were having problems. None of this was told to him. And in one of the meetings, which occurred in 2012, there was actual FDA regulators, well, not FDA regulators, but the equivalent of FDA regulators for England that were present at the meeting. And during this meeting, DePuy repeated to this group of people that Dr. Nargol was the only one having problems with these hips. Dr. Nargol, as it turns out, was sort of the person blowing the whistle at the very beginning. He was the one who brought all of these issues to the attention of regulators and the medical community in general, that metal-on-metal hips were not a good idea. But what you see in the paperwork and in the story that Dr. Nargol tells is that DePuy really didn't want this story to get out. At least that's what you get from Dr. Nargol's testimony. Dr. Nargol will be cross-examined. When he's cross-examined, we'll do another video to tell you what kind of points DePuy scored. And we will provide more updates on Dr. Nargol's testimony. So if you have any questions about the case or what's going on, feel free to give us a call. You can reach us at the phone number on the screen, or you can fill out one of our online forms on our website, and we'll get right back to you.